So I thought today to talk about disappointment. So I know you'll all be very disappointed in this talk. Yeah. But I've been thinking about disappointment is something that we deal with regularly in our life, don't we? You know, from the time we were little kids until now, constantly we're getting disappointed. Yeah. And so what do we do with disappointment besides try and change the world so that everybody else does what we want them to do? Because that's basically what we're disappointed about, isn't it? You know, it's usually about, you know, people aren't what we want them to be or aren't doing what we want them to do. Or sometimes it's the situation, you know, we had created an image of a certain situation and it doesn't turn out to be that way. Yeah, and it's constantly happening again and again in our lives, aren't we? Isn't it? We're getting disappointed. So it's something, one, that it would be good if we got used to it. And, you know, in the sense that every time we're disappointed, we're really knocked out of shape, aren't we? It's like, how could this happen? This isn't supposed to happen. I wanted it to be like this, and they're supposed to be like this. And, you know, I even read all the fine print, and so we thought, yeah, but then it doesn't turn out the way we had hoped. No? And this is constant in our lives. You know, daily small disappointments, and then sometimes big disappointments, and sometimes we're disappointed in ourselves because we had wanted or expected more of ourselves, and sometimes we're disappointed with others, and sometimes you buy a new car and you're disappointed in the new car because you thought it was going to be better. You know, you get married and you're disappointed in the relationship. You could move to the Abbey, you're disappointed in the Abbey. You sit down for lunch, you're disappointed in lunch. You know, this is our life, isn't it? Yeah? And so what do we do about it? You know, when I said get used to it, I didn't mean like just drag ourselves through our life, just like, oh, it's going to be one disappointment after the other. But, you know, because then love just becomes a drag, doesn't it? You know? But I think, you know, one thing is to learn to laugh at the disappointments in a way. And it's like, oh, you know, why did I expect things to be perfect? That's kind of funny. Here I did it again, you know? It's like my whole life I've been doing this and I just did it again. I expected everything to turn out the way I wanted, you know? And that's kind of funny. Here I am making the same mistake again and again. Because it is kind of funny, isn't it? No, you don't think so. Yeah. It's what?
It's disappointing.
It's disappointing. Yes, exactly. It's disappointing. Yeah. But I know for me, what a key element in disappointment is expectation. You know, is that I have built up some kind of expectation that I'm not even aware that I've built up. You know, it's just kind of, that's the natural process of my deluded mind, is I build up these expectations and I don't realize that I've built them up until things don't go according to how I expect them to. And then I feel let down. Yeah. But if I didn't have those enormous expectations to start with, I probably wouldn't have felt so let down. Or even if I had those expectations, if I put a caveat in there, like this may not happen, which is a wise kind of caveat to put in any expectation, isn't it? Because this is the nature of life, is that things change. I mean, that's just the situation we live in, and that one we're never going to get out of. Everything changes all the time. And so whenever we have an expectation or a plan or whatever, to have that caveat of, this may change. And conditions are out of my control. And if it changes, it might be better than what I had expected. If I give it a chance. If I don't give it a chance, then it's never going to be better. But if I give it a chance, it might be better than what I expected. And also under that is, I might learn something very valuable from this. Because if we look at it, sometimes we can learn something very valuable from our disappointments. And it really, in the same way, in the Lam-Rim, it shows us that we can learn valuable things from suffering, and the same thing from disappointments. It can really enhance our compassion, because we look at all the other people who have disappointments, who are often much bigger disappointments than ours. And, it really brings forth our compassion for other people. And it also brings forth an awareness of the nature of cyclic existence. That cyclic existence is disappointing, isn't it? That's the nature of cyclic existence. So, whenever we find a fault of cyclic existence, what do we want to be our response to that? I want to be free of cyclic existence. That's the response. Every time there's suffering, every time there's disappointment, to train the mind, that's why I am working to be free of cyclic existence. Instead of, the world let me down again, or I let myself down again. To stop that, but just, this is why I'm practicing the Dharma, because I want to be free of cyclic existence. Because as long as I'm in cyclic existence, no matter where I'm born, no matter what I do, there's going to be disappointment. So let's get out of this situation. How do we get out of the situation? Aspire for liberation, generate bodhicitta, realize emptiness. Okay, so let's put our energy into those things, and to really free ourselves, and to free everybody else, because everybody else is stuck in the same disappointing situation. Some people with disappointments huger, much, much huger than ours. And sometimes when we compare our disappointments with the disappointments of other people, we see that we actually got off light, so to speak. Our disappointments are quite manageable. Yeah?
Maybe an example. I have in mind, what was a quotation by His Holiness, hope the best and expect the worst.
Yeah, so hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Yeah, so that's good advice, isn't it? Yeah, so we hope, we go forward with optimism and enthusiasm, but we're also completely going in knowing that it may not turn out at all the way we wanted it to. And if it doesn't, that's okay, and we'll learn something very valuable from the experience. Because if you think in our life so far, we've gone into a lot of things that haven't turned out the way we thought. Like everything. I mean, think about it. Has anything in your life turned out the way you thought it would when you first entered into it? No. Yeah, like what?
Yeah, when you have a dream, for example, to enter a monastery, it happened like this.
What, that it turns out the way you wanted?
Yeah, I entered a monastery, it's a harmonious sangha, and I'm happy.
Today. Just wait. Just wait.
No, I see most of the nuns here more than happy.
Yeah. So, we
That's
just
part of letting go of the expectation.
Yes. Really. It is. Just completely letting go, letting go, letting go, you know? And seeing that letting go is not bad. Letting go is freeing. Yeah, holding on is painful.